Have you ever gotten ready for a tech interview and felt like you were prepping for some kind of super intense exam? Where you're cramming algorithms and trying to remember every single line of code you've ever written.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I totally get that. It can definitely feel like you're stepping into this mysterious world where everyone else knows the secret handshake.
Right. It's like there's this hidden code and only the tech gurus are in on it.
Exactly.
Well, that's what we're tackling in this deep dive. We're going to decode those tech interviews.
Yeah, no more mystery.
We've got this awesome guide called Ace the Interview, Tech Company Tips. And it's packed with practical advice and real-world insights into what those hiring managers are actually looking for.
It's like having a backstage pass to the tech interview process,
Exactly. So whether you're a seasoned pro or just starting out, we're going to break down the key strategies to help you walk into that interview with confidence. We're talking company research, nailing those behavioral questions, and showcasing your technical skills without sounding like, well, a robot.
And something that really stood out to me in this guide is the emphasis on company culture. Tech companies today, they're not just looking for coding machines. They're looking for people who fit in, who are passionate about the work, and who can really contribute to their unique environment.
Okay, so let's break that down a bit. So first up, research. We all know it's important, but the guide really hammers home that it's not just about skimming the company's website.
Yeah, it goes so much deeper than that. Imagine you're interviewing at, say, a company that's developing AI-powered healthcare solutions.
Okay.
Instead of just saying, hey, I'm interested in AI, you could probably mention a recent article you read about their breakthrough in early disease detection or something.
Oh, that's good.
That shows you're not just interested in any AI job, you're specifically interested in their work, what they're doing.
Right. So it's about taking that extra step to show them you're really engaged. Right, like you've actually done your homework and you're not just there for any job, you're there for that job.
Exactly. And it's about aligning your values with theirs too. A lot of companies, they highlight their core values right in their mission statement or on their website. And if you can genuinely connect your own experiences and motivations to those values, it makes your interest feel so much more authentic, less generic.
So thinking about our listeners out there, what company are you most interested in? And what is it about them that really speaks to you? What makes them stand out? Think about that for a second.
Yeah, take a moment.
All right, so you've got a good grasp on the company research.
Yeah.
Now let's shift gears and talk about those, I don't know what to call them, those curveball, those tricky behavioral interview questions,
Oh, no.
Tell me about a time you failed or
Yeah.
what's your biggest weakness? Honestly, who doesn't get a little bit of a pit in their stomach when they do those?
Oh, for sure. I know I do. But the good news is the guide suggests this really helpful method. It's called the STAR method.
Okay, I've heard of that.
Have you? It stands for situation, task, action, result. And it's all about setting the scene, explaining your role, outlining the steps you took, and then highlighting the outcome, whether it was good or bad.
So it's about telling a story, right?
Yeah, but it's not just about reciting a story. It's about demonstrating how you approach challenges, how you learn from your mistakes, and how you contribute to a team.
Right, and I think I've used the STAR method before, but honestly, sometimes it can feel a little formulaic if you're not careful.
Yeah. Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah.
It's important to bring your personality to those answers, to make them engaging. For example, instead of just listing tasks, you could talk about the emotional roller coaster you went through while tackling a particularly challenging project, or what you learned about yourself in the process.
Oh, that's a great point. Make it human, make it real.
Yeah, and how it shaped your approach to teamwork.
The guide also, this is another good point, stresses framing your weaknesses as areas for growth. Instead of just saying, I'm a perfectionist, which can sound, a little cliche.
Yeah, talk about a specific instance where maybe your attention to detail slowed down a project and how you're learning to prioritize tasks more effectively.
Right, so turn it into a positive, basically.
Exactly.
All right, so we've covered research, we've tackled behavioral questions, but this wouldn't be a tech interview deep dive if we didn't talk about the technical part, right?
Absolutely. And this is where things get really interesting, because what the guide emphasizes here is that it's not just about having all these memorized algorithms or being like a coding encyclopedia.
Right.
It's about showcasing your thought process,
Yeah.
your problem-solving abilities, how you think.
Okay, so how do we do that? Is it about talking through our code out loud? It can be, but it's more about demonstrating how you approach a problem, how you break it down, and how you arrive at a solution. So let's say you're given a coding challenge, right, to optimize a search function. Instead of just silently writing the code, you explain your reasoning out loud. You're like, okay, I'm going to start by analyzing the current algorithm, then I'll consider different data structures and test their efficiency based on these specific search requirements.
Got it.
So you're basically inviting the interviewer into your brain, into your mental process.
So it's about showing them you can think critically and not just code blindly.
Exactly.
Makes sense. Now, what about those so-called soft skills everyone keeps talking about? Where do passion and enthusiasm fit into all of this?
Genuine interest, it goes a long way. The guide suggests preparing some really thoughtful questions about the company's future projects or their technology roadmap. For example, instead of asking a really generic question like, what are the company's goals? You could say something like, I read about your research into quantum computing. I'm curious how you see that technology shaping the future of your products.
Right. So again, it's about aligning our interests with theirs, just like with that initial research.
Right.
Showing them we're not just looking for a job, we're looking for this job. We're interested in what they're doing.
You got it. And don't forget, the interview process is a two-way street. It's a chance for you to assess whether this company aligns with your goals and values.
That's such a good point.
So do your research, prepare, and approach each interview with confidence and a genuine desire to connect, really connect with the company and the people you're talking to. You've got this.
And on that note, that's a wrap for our tech interview deep dive. We hope these tips and insights have given you a little bit of an edge, a little bit of confidence. But here's something to think about, and this is something we didn't touch on directly. How do you think the rise of remote work and these virtual interviews is changing the game? What new skills or strategies do you think are becoming even more important in this new landscape? Let us know what you think in the comments.
That's a great question. There's a lot to unpack there.
Until next time.
See you then.